Ladies and gentlemen, as always, welcome back to the BB-Scho. We're here for a special edition of NBA Tuesday. Not only am I here with my normal co-host, obviously, as you guys know and love, Chen, but we are joined by our first ever guest appearance. We're going to call him Luke. He doesn't really have a cool name yet, so we'll think of something. But Luke, welcome to the show, man. This is your time. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you're all about, and I don't know, spark some debate or something. Kick us off.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me. Been an avid listener of the pod. We've known each other for a while, and every time I'm on a road trip, turning on the pod, it's a vibe, man. And obviously, I mean, you guys know me. I'm a big sports guy as well. Mostly NBA, some NFL, but Raiders ain't doing too good this season, so we'll talk about that a different day.
Wait, I gotta ask, what's your opinion on Josh McDaniels?
Oh man, where do I start?
And him or no?
Yeah, just say yes or no.
No, he's out. He needs to be out.
That's all we need to know. All right, he's welcome to stay.
No, and I don't want me to cut off, but I do want to just interject for the viewers that obviously you're not going to be completely aware of who Luke is, but obviously he's a person that we've both been friends with, but he's also a college athlete, even if he's not anymore. He played college ball. He's I believe 6'4" at the minimum, probably 6'5", 6'6" at this point. Can handle, like, in terms of basketball knowledge, game experience, I'd say
he's got more experience than either of us. Yeah.
Right. So that's why biggest thing is, he's a good friend of ours, but bring him on the show in terms of NBA insight is probably low-key going to be better than both of us. So that's just going to start some things, some debate. And no, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but no, you got anything else to add, my guy? I mean,
man. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey. I mean, it's a regular time thing. I guess we can just kind of kick it right off the bat. I know we got some things that happened this week. It's early in the NBA season, so there's not a whole lot to talk about, but I just keep seeing it all over Twitter, Instagram, everything. Benedict Mathurin, before the season even started, I didn't think before he even got drafted, was like, yo, I know who I am as a player, yada, yada, yada. I know who LeBron is. He needs to prove he's better than me. And everybody else, and 99% of the population, anyone, is like, who is this guy? What is he saying? I mean, he still comes off the bench. However, when the Pacers not mean, the Lakers are still at the bottom, but they beat the Lakers last night. And, Haliburton has been playing at an amazing level, but Benedict Mathurin statistically outplayed LeBron. And I guess my really question to you is not, is he better than LeBron? Because that's just a dumb question. I'm not going to give you that bait. But the Pacers, is this team actually going to do something in the playoff picture? Are they actually going to pull something together this season? Or are we just going to see the same old 8-9 seed Pacers that we see every year?
I don't know. I'll take the question first. I think I would pump the brakes a little bit on, maybe I think they'll make the playoffs, or for sure the play-in, but winning a playoff series, especially in the packed East, is going to be difficult for them, I think, still. And honestly, my biggest takeaway from prepping for this, and obviously everybody saw the Twitter stat of Haliburton already being statistically better than Steve Nash's MVP season. My biggest takeaway is that Kobe was robbed of multiple MVPs that I was not aware of, because looking at Nash's numbers 18 and 10 is just atrocious for an MVP. So, I don't have much to add other than I mean, we talked about him last week, but I am interested to hear what Luke has to say about the Pacers here. So,
yeah. So, I put together a little bit of stuff about the Pacers. They're actually, as the NBA stands right now, they're one of my favorite teams to watch. I mean, they're a super young and exciting team. Benedict Mathurin, he's 20 years old. He just got drafted, and coming out of Arizona, I don't know if it was just me, but I really didn't. I saw him kind of in the spotlight in college, but he wasn't like one of the super big names that I was expecting to pop off. And, to see him do what he's doing now, I mean, he's averaging 19, 4 and 1, almost 2. I mean, he's doing good. And then Tyrese Haliburton, man, he's like Magic Johnson 2.0. Like he's, he's doing good things. I mean, as for this season, I don't really see them obviously, going to the ECF or something like that. But, give them a couple of years. If Tyrese Haliburton, stays in Indiana, I mean, he might be able to lead these guys to a deep playoff run. But as for this season, I see them, maybe slotted anywhere from 7-4 at the end. And yeah, I mean, I think they're good, but I don't think they're a big dog team yet. But
that's a lot of work to go from that point. And I mean, when you look at the Kings, they're kind of in the same situation. It's funny that they flipped Haliburton for Sabonis, and I think in a couple of years that is going to be a very bad trade for the Kings.
Yeah, I agree.
But at the moment, I mean, pivot so quick, but it's really the Kings are the Pacers of the West. I mean, do you see really anything going down with them? Or are we really just kind of mid-level playoff team? Not really a contender, but they're going to have team problems. I mean, that's...
I don't know. We talked about the Kings on Wednesday, I think it was last week.
Yeah.
And since then, they've lost 3 straight. So... they were out. We talked about them on that 7-game winning streak. Look, they're just like Luke said, this is another young upcoming team. De'Aaron Fox is really starting to blossom into just a scoring leader role, and even more than that at times. So I still think they missed the playoffs this year. They just don't have the depth. But this is the best the Kings have looked since I've ever been watching basketball. So that means something, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they maybe, sneak in maybe in a playoff or a play-in game. But other than that, I mean, the West is crowded. It's tight right now. But as the season goes on, I think the Kings are going to, go back to their regular selves and kind of drop off a little bit. But me being, personally, in my opinion, I think I'd rather be the GM of the Pacers than the Kings right now. I mean, that Tyrese Haliburton trade, I still can't believe how soon they did that. I mean, that's just, he's a good talent. I can't even believe it, but it is what it is. They got their Sabonis and, yeah, I guess they go from there.
We talk about them a lot, but what Warriors are finally back over 500. They've won 3 straight. They've been struggling all year. Any hot takes with the Warriors, or are you kind of in the same boat as us? Just kind of like, yeah, they'll be fine. They're figuring out the rotations.
SC30. That's all I gotta say. You got Curry. You're probably, I mean, he's getting up there, but hey, it's Steph Curry at the end of the day. I mean, I don't think the people were bashing the Warriors a week or two ago, like, oh, they're not even going to make the playoffs. I mean, come on, it's Steph Curry. You really don't have to make that, overreaction, but I think they're still, figuring things out, and they also got some young guys coming up. But, yeah, I think, worst comes to worst, they're a 7-5 seed. They sneak in the playoffs. Wouldn't be surprised to see them in the Western Conference Finals, man.
Yeah. Who's your favorite out of the West?
Oh man, I gotta pull this up, man. There's who I can tell you who my favorite is the Suns, but we'll save that for a later discussion. I don't know. I mean, I do like the Warriors. I like the Warriors. I like the Timberwolves a lot. I think they have a lot to prove still. But I saw you guys' debate. Timberwolves Lakers, man. That. Christian, I don't know. We'll get to that later. But anyway,
y'all keep talking, bro.
Anyway, I don't know. Out of the West, man, I like what the Pelicans are doing too. I'd probably say my top 3 are the Warriors, Grizzlies, and the Pelicans. Do I think that any of those teams are going to make the finals? Maybe, but not well. Maybe the Warriors, but yeah, I don't know. The Grizzlies are looking good as well.
Interesting.
The Grizzlies are solid. In terms of the Suns, man, we can kind of delve into that real quick because Chris Paul has been
curious.
I'm sorry, like he's been bad. Jay Crowder literally hasn't been with the team. He's trying to get traded, right? Yeah. So it's Devin Booker, who's been probably the most underwhelming first overall pick that I've witnessed. I mean, there's been busts, but I feel like there's such a spectrum of people who think DeAndre Ayton still could be good, and other people like myself that are like, he is what he is. He'll get 15 and 10. He's going to do what he can, but is he ever going to get to a 3-ball? No. Is he even get a consistent mid-range? I don't think so. I think he's just going to be one of those typical 10, 15-year centers that's in the NBA. And for Devin Booker, as good as he can be, we've seen when he doesn't have a team around him, they don't go anywhere. And that's when, Luke brings up, hey, we got the Warriors, the Grizz, Pelicans. We even thrown out Timberwolves. I think even the Mavericks, Luka is better than anybody the Suns have. Like, there's a lot of teams that kind of push the Suns out. And for a team that was 2 years removed from a finals appearance, I think they look kind of just I don't really care what they sit in these standings at this point. In terms of what they got, they don't have any injuries. It's just the team is just the same, and they're just bleh. They're very just I think honestly they're in danger of getting that 5 to 6, 7 seed. I don't think they're gonna get in the play-in, but I don't think they're gonna be this runaway 1 seed that they've kind of been talked about as since last year and going into this year. But I mean, you guys just takes on that. I mean, what are the thoughts here?
I'll be the Suns defender here since nobody else is going to do it. So I'll be
yeah, I know. Yeah, look at you defending Chris Paul.
I mean, look, we can talk about Chris Paul all we want. The numbers are falling off. I'm not here to disagree with statistical fact, but as those numbers have fallen off, Devin Booker is quietly having by far the best statistical season of his career, averaging most points per game, most assists, and rebounds to date that he's done. In any normal year, he'd be a high-level MVP candidate. We can talk about the MVP debate a little bit too, because this year is just insanity with what some of these guys are doing. But I think that Booker is finally, is in my eyes, taking a step towards being a guy who can lead this team regardless of who's around him. I think that has been his number one knock. And we won't know the answer until April or May. But if he's going to continue to play like this, they're going to win 55-plus games on their pace. That's what they're a great regular season team. And, it's just going to come down to, can they stop Steph Curry? Can they stop Luka? And we will find out because, or can Book hang? That's the other question. Can he hang with?
I think that's more of the question. I mean, realistically, is Luka or Steph ever gotten stops? Like, is Book going to be able to put up 30, 40 throughout a series? I know he's capable of doing it for a game-to-game basis, but through 7 games, I mean, Luke, what is your takeaway on that?
Man, I mean, I've been kind of, I don't know, my opinion on the Suns over the years has been kind of like over these past couple of years at least has been kind of mixed, but I'd have to agree with you, Caleb, that, man, Devin Booker definitely has taken a step up this season, and like I like what he's doing, but man, like after their finals run and, just seeing them, like I just don't see them with this roster. I don't see the Suns getting there, man. I don't like I don't want to go as far as to say, oh, they should trade Devin Booker, but like I don't think Devin Booker is going to find any success in Phoenix. And like I do think that, they'll probably end up being a top 4 seed in the West after this season's all said and done. I don't think that's a very outlandish statement, but I don't know, man. I just don't buy in. DeAndre Ayton, he's just like a, modern day Clint Capella. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
like,
that's,
he did it. He just have a 20 and 20 night, but.
So would you be a proponent of the ever so talked about Ayton for Durant somehow make it happen package?
Oh man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to take a look at the Suns roster, but I don't know. I mean, I not only do I not really see that happening, but even then, like D-Book and KD, I mean, is that?
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, the Suns are just kind of a question mark for me. I feel like they're a good basketball team, but I don't think they're a championship caliber team. I mean, my opinion on Chris Paul, I mean, when he was on my Rockets back in the day, hamstring injury in the clutch. There goes James Harden ring, but hey,
live
and learn.
That's kind of debate.
We live and we learn,
too.
But
no one talks about that.
Chris Paul, I mean, he's good. Obviously, he's been an elite point guard his whole career. His numbers are falling off. I mean, well, how old's the dude? Like 36, 37 at this point.
Oh, it might be older. Yeah, I mean, usually I kind of overestimate, but I think he's getting close to 40, man. Like
I think he's 37.
He's old.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, if your game is the mid-range and you can't even create space anymore as a 6-foot guard, sorry, there's going to become a point where campaign is going to be the better option. It's not even a joke. Like, it's literally just he's a bigger guard. He's younger and can move. Like, it's no slight to this. I mean, if we're playing Chris Paul and Oris, he's probably killing every one of us. But, like, in terms of an NBA game, it's just getting worse for him by the year. And that's kind of the outlook on the Suns is like they're not going to get better throughout this season. Even with like the Warriors struggles, you look at the Timberwolves, Pelicans, those are teams that they had new pieces, they got young talent. They're going to improve as the year goes on. The Suns team has not only stayed the same, they've gotten worse. Like I'm pretty sure Damian Lee is our sixth man. And every time I saw him suit up for the Warriors, he stunk, dude. I'm sorry. I think he's playing a little bit better this year, but in terms of what the Suns, what their ceiling is this year, if they get to the conference finals, I think they're lucky. That's my take. I understand, people are going to may push back a bit because of what they've done recently, but in terms of this season, I just think there's way too much talent in that Western Conference.
I just don't believe the hype, man. I agree. Fully agree, man.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You got anything to add here? We move on to.
I don't have anything to add. I mean, I see this is not something I'm going to die on because I do see exactly what you guys are talking about. I mean, the reason they burst onto the scene a couple years back on that finals run was Chris Paul just being this veteran leader who took this young team that was kind of struggling and took them, I guess you could say, to the promised land. They didn't win a championship, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. And if he's not there, Book can step up, but they just don't have the depth. And I see what you guys are saying.
If he's playing as a second or third option, they're good. Like no one's going to deny that. Even right now, they're still good. But in terms of contender, like Chris Paul needs to be on his game. And in fact, he's like having a career worst season. I'm already writing him off. That we've kind of talked about it enough. We're circling the table, but I know. I don't see it. And hey, you know what? We'll pivot because the guy who started off in the wrong direction, honestly, all of last year and the beginning of this year, has turned a new leaf. The Lakers, still are working some things out.
We're Russell Westbrook. About this. We're still.
No, we're not talking about the Lakers. We're going to talk about Russell Westbrook. We're going to just pivot things because I didn't see a whole lot that really went completely crazy this week. We touched on it. Legacy-wise, in terms of just where Russell Westbrook sits, because I am hearing a lot of noise. I'm hearing a lot of noise. I got people on one spectrum that are he's one of the top point guards of all time due to what he did in his MVP season, yada, 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 ability, whatever. And the other people are nitpicking not only every season, his MVP season, and like, this dude is one of the most inefficient players of all time. He shouldn't get any of the credit he deserves. And quite frankly, he had one of the worst MVP seasons of all time. Okay. So what is the consensus here? I mean, I know you guys.
Well, what's the question? Opinion. First of all, are we talking about his MVP season? Because if we're gonna say that's,
are we just talking like a Russell Westbrook objectively? Let's say all time. Is this dude a top 10 point guard, top 20, or is he just crap? I mean,
he's not crap. I mean, he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Well, he's been crap, but hey, we can talk about it. I mean, that's what the debate's about. I mean, right off the bat, right? You're already listing out like Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, yada, yada, yada. But I would feel comfortable putting him outside of 10. I don't know if I could put him lower than 10.
No, name the 10.
I mean, I'd have to actually let him out. No. But all right, hang on here, because Luka already, I would take like his. I know people.
That's a hot take. That is a hot take. I mean, I can somewhat agree.
Wow, but man, he's accomplished nothing.
That's crazy.
What has Russ accomplished?
Well, first off, an MVP. That's one.
And outside of his. What everyone is saying is one of the worst MVPs. Outside of that,
I actually can we debate that too? Because I firmly disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Triple double, man.
Are we really debating about why he won the MVP that year?
Well, everyone's knocking Luka. I mean, he's averaging almost triple double, and we're all like, "Oh yeah, he's not close to Russ," even though he's doing the exact same thing as Russ at 22.
Why do we not look at triple doubles the way we used to 10 years ago? Why do we?
Because the game speed increased.
No, because of Russell Westbrook changing how we think about triple doubles. Okay, nobody averaged a triple double for 50 years. Not Michael, not Kobe, not Magic, who was actually probably built to do it the best. No big men, not Shaq. Nobody did it until Russell Westbrook did it not once, but twice in a row in Oklahoma City. So if we're going to downplay this MVP season, and then you're going to bring in Luka, who can't even do that now with absolutely zero, the almost identical situations in terms of no help.
Disagree.
What's different about that 17 OKC team than this Mavs team?
Well, first off, the Thunder, like, they actually had a couple pieces. Like, Steven Adams is still playing in the league. Christian Wood is their second best option, and they're taking a leap, and he's playing off the bench. Like, their lineup, they at least knew who it was every night. Like overall, as a team, and especially considering Russ Westbrook at that point in his career was in his prime. Luka still has yet to hit it, no matter what people say. First off.
Yeah, but we're talking
second
about
of all, efficiency. Right, like, I don't think Russ, like, has he shot over 40% from three in his career?
Oh no.
Like, already
I
that's
the
kind
stats,
of
man. I was looking at
excluding
that.
him from the top 5 like point guard conversation, in my opinion.
Why do you have to shoot threes to be in the we were talking top 10.
We're talking about the worst MVPs.
Just changing the conversation as we
No, we're talking about worst MVPs.
Worst MVP is 2006 Steve Nash. Okay, I think we can all agree.
Steve Nash was more efficient, and that team went deeper in the playoffs.
Dude, we just talked about how Tyrese Haliburton has the same stat line.
Yeah, and he's better than Westbrook, just like Steve Nash was.
My God.
All I gotta say, man, is I mean,
why? All right, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what does Russ provide to this argument other than he averaged a triple-double and he got an MVP? What else has he done?
That's it.
Over his
that's just it, though.
Career.
That's just it. But
is he not the all-time triple-double leader?
I think it's like him and O, and if he passed Big O, congratulations. That's going to get passed up next 5
This was one of the most coveted stat lines in the history of basketball. Michael Jordan doesn't even have like 20 in his career. I don't think he does. LeBron doesn't.
Because he had Scottie Pippen, and he had Rodman getting 15, 16 boards a game.
Didn't have
like, Scottie you gotta understand.
The first 8 years of his career.
You gotta understand. Like, I'm not acknowledging the Thunder team was bad. I'm just saying you drop in like Harden on that Thunder team. You drop in D Wade. You drop a whole bunch of names.
Oh, I'm telling you, no. James Harden would not average a triple-double on that team. I'm telling you, no.
Okay.
He might average 35 points a game.
Triple-double.
He might average 35 points.
He almost averaged a triple-double. And he had to share the ball with people.
Dude.
This year, he doesn't have to pass. He's getting 15 assists just because there's no one else taking the ball up.
You got to stop downplaying what a triple-double actually is. The irony of it is you're not realizing that the reason you don't think the reason you think it's not that valuable is because of Russell Westbrook. That's the reason, because he made it this thing that now everybody can go do.
But like, even it's watching just what. Like, bro is getting triple doubles. It's like, yes, he's taking 30 shots. The Thunder get a 6 seed. Like, it's not that it was that amazing, man. Like, I feel like you're almost overblowing triple double at that point. I understand I might be undermining it, but like, we can't act like this was the greatest feat. So good. They couldn't make it out of the first round, dog. Like, as great as that is a feat, and it's the 1 year he did it. We can't just hinge a guy's legacy.
You just say that Westbrook.
Are we going to
hinge
Gilbert Arenas? Oh, he put up like 15 and 30, 50%, go 0-6.
He averaged 9.5 field goals a game in 2017.
That literally can't be right. Maybe
Basketball Reference, pull it up. It's right there.
You're looking at something wrong. There's no way the MVP who averaged 20-something, that's like statistically not even possible.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. That's like
you are correct. It's 20, but still it's not 30.
That's what I thought. And even that, 9 out of 20 is below 50%. But no. We can keep the debate going.
Like, shot 45%.
Right. And I'm pretty sure Curry does that from 3. But I'll digress. I mean, like, let's just be honest here. And I guess I'm fighting a 1v2 battle here, which is fine. That is fine. I'm going to keep crapping on Westbrook.
I think it's a 1v1.5 right
I think, I honestly, I'm surprised this is coming from a Laker fan. I'll tell you that. But, that
I'm not even a Laker fan. I think they're severely underrated at this point.
Because they're trash.
They've been trash 1 year. Same
Dude,
thing.
The Lakers in the history of their franchise have missed the playoffs like 20 times since like 1940. 3 of those are going to be under LeBron.
Yeah, that is a knock. But
yeah, it's gonna be a knock if he doesn't get it this year. But I think the only reason I'm even getting into this playoff thing is one, because they have LeBron, but two, you can't tell me last year like part of it was you're paying a guy $47 million who is worth maybe $7 million on a good night. Like, this is my whole thing with Russell Westbrook.
I'm not talking about Russell. I'm not defending Russell Westbrook last year or right now. We were talking all time, were we not?
Yeah,
we can keep talking all time. Like, all time that season, he had a Luka-esque team. He did what people would expect of any player that's you put Jordan Clarkson on that team. I guarantee you, bro's going for 25. He's not getting a triple double. Did you just
say that? Oh my god, bro!
All I
can't tell me, bro.
Stop. All I gotta say is this. All I gotta say is this. All right, Jordan Clarkson. That's a different story. But hey, statistically speaking, his MVP season was it was very remarkable. But as for the impact he made, on his team, the league, and his own legacy, I think it obviously was important for his own legacy, because imagine Westbrook's never won an MVP. I can't even imagine the amount of hate that he'd be getting right now. Just going out there.
He's not even in the conversation. So it's really just a matter of how much we value that.
Yeah.
And we thrust this guy in the top 20 point guards all time because of one season.
You're not even putting him in your top 20?
Top 20, I got to give him top 20, like fringe. I'd probably say 20 to 15, but top 10, that I think I could come up with 10 guys who I rather have in their prime than Russell Westbrook. I mean, just to fit into an overall offense.
Next week.
You do it.
I'm gonna prep
a
list next week
because I'm
gonna prep a list. What's there between Gilbert Arenas and Russell Westbrook in their best years? What do they do in the playoffs? Both got bounced in the first round.
Russ didn't bring a gun to the
yeah. That's quite significant. But I mean, in terms of and that's, I guess, my
Russ has had a much longer and more remarkable career than Gilbert Arenas. Come on now, and a much longer.
Remarkable in one way. He's longer, but the last couple years
point guard since 2010 since the playoff. I mean, he's been.
You call him a great point guard right now?
Yes, he's been a top 5 guard in the league for multiple years.
Do you think he's a top 5 guard right now?
Not right now. No, I just said.
You think he's top 5 guard last year?
I was gonna say
last year. No.
You think he was top 5 guard 2 years ago?
In 2017, yes. If we're just gonna keep
2017, so almost 6 years ago.
Yeah,
you're seeing where this is going, right?
Yeah, I think he was in 2018 and 2016 and 2013 and all those years with KD. And Gilbert Arenas was one time, maybe twice. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. No, I know what you're getting at, but I think it really needs to be observed and just kind of talked about the fact that this dude, because he had, everyone uses historic season, as a team, they were garbage. As efficiency, it was pretty garbage, MVP wise. And we're like, yeah, let's just slot this dude up here because he did that. Gonna have to push back. And I'm going to try and craft a list of 20 dudes I can confidently put over Russ. I know I can probably put 10 confidently. 20 is a bit much. But, hey, you know what? I'm going to hunt. I'm going to hunt because I love this idea.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love the Russ slander.
Right. Let's pivot because I have a stat. I have a stat, okay, regarding – so I guess we talked about this last week, but I'm interested for both of you guys, okay? Who's your – quarter season MVP so far?
Man,
I'm not changing from Luka.
So you said Luka, okay?
Not yet. I'm not gonna pivot. No. I think he's in this logic of Russ, and yet he's still probably gonna finish as a higher than a 6 seed. He's gonna be way more efficient, and he's 23 years old. So.
Yeah, if Luka doesn't win it this year, man, if he improves next year, oh geez, he's definitely gonna win it next year. I mean, Luka is crazy. I mean, I would go as far as to say he's top 2 player in the league. I mean, I don't really know. There's guys like Jokic, Giannis, people like that are good. Another person who I like, who, if I'm being honest, man, I'm not really a big Celtics guy, but man, Tatum, I liked what you said last week, Caleb, about Tatum. I think he's also taken that step. I mean, he's playing like an MVP. I mean, I look at Tatum now the same way. Now, don't take this the wrong way, all right? When I'm watching an NBA game and I see KD out there, he's going to go get his 30 at will. I mean, I look at Jason Tatum the same way. I mean, I feel like they're kind of both at that same level now. I mean, Kevin Durant, he's getting old. Don't get me wrong, he's still as good as he's ever been, but Tatum, man, I was sleeping on him coming out of college. I didn't think he was about that life, but hey, he's crazy, man. He's really good. I wouldn't be surprised if he took the trophy either. Yeah. I think Tatum and Luka are probably my top two right now.
So what
Jokic, nah, he's not.
What if I told you guys that Steph Curry is having a better statistical season and efficiency rating in every stat than compared to his 2016 season, and he's not even been mentioned at all? Okay,
that's that record, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And what a 6'3" point guard provides in terms of all around stats compared to a 6'8", 6'9" Jason Tatum.
It goes
6'7" point guard and Luka.
Yeah. The insanity of this season goes even farther because currently right now, and it's early in the year, but currently right now, 6 guys are averaging 31 points a game. That's more than the last 15 years combined amount of people that have averaged 31 points per game. Obviously, it's earlier in the year, but the ridiculousness of the MVP race right now, I have Luka and Tatum in the top 2, but any other year, you could throw SGA in there. He's one of the 6. That averaging 31 points a game is not an easy feat. And so the ridiculousness of the MVP race right now, I was just curious to see what you guys said because it really is. I mean, I think it's Embiid, Luka, Tatum, Curry, I think Jokic, and then SGA are the 6 guys. And I'm
not going to disagree with that. No. And I
shout out Jimmy High Roller.
Yeah, shout out Jimmy High Roller. I peeped that.
for the stats because it's just crazy.
Yeah, no, and I do want to hear just Luke your take on the idea that, I mean, it's clear as day more shots are going up, but is it kind of diminishing this idea of going over 30? I understand it's still an incredible feat, but is it less meaningful? Like when we compare Haliburton's over Steve Nash's stats back in like 2006, like I think many were going to argue that Steve Nash's stat line is more impressive just due to the era and the timeline and the amount of shots that were getting up, the amount of possessions per game, and even just regular season games meaning more back in the day. Like I'm not saying I don't enjoy watching basketball right now, but there's just a lot of threes getting chucked up. I mean, the defense is a little lackluster at times. What is your just kind of overall insight on what you're kind of watching this year?
Honestly, I'd kind of have to go the opposite way, man. I mean, I feel like give it 5 or 10 years, I think there's going to be more guys averaging 35 points a game. I mean, I think it's going to be the longer that this league goes. I mean, I just feel like the direction the NBA is going, it's kind of always been this way, but man, all the glory goes to the best scorers, like they're always the top guys. Scoring. And, that's why I think someone like Tyrese Haliburton, someone who I really like, and I think is very well liked around the league is, he's not this big scorer, but he's, he's a floor general. We haven't seen, a floor general like that come out and sent, for a while, someone to his caliber, at least. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think that, I'm surprised at the amount of people averaging, 31 points a game this year, and the MVP race is super close. I mean, I think we can expect more of that in these years to come. I mean, some of these young guys I'll see on Instagram, I'm just scrolling. I mean, there's sophomores doing like windmills in between the legs. Like, I mean, it's what are they feeding these kids? Like, who knows what's going to happen when they're in the league? Like, it's ridiculous. But one thing I pulled up here on Basketball Reference is the top 10 MVP candidates in order as of right now. So I think this is interesting because someone, I didn't expect this guy to be on here, but from 1 to 10, it goes Jokic, Tatum, Luka, Giannis, Curry, Booker, and at 7, I don't know if this is updated daily or whatever, but at 7, they have Tyrese Haliburton on the MVP.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's, I don't know
if I probably is updated daily. Like if they're putting that high.
Really?
It's crazy. And then after him on 8, they got Donovan Mitchell, KD, and John Morant. I mean, I don't know, 7 in MVP for Haliburton. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch, but I do think at the very least, he should be in the All-Star game. I mean, he's leading the league in assists.
Absolutely. I would take him
question.
second or third team all NBA at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think that the way that this league's going, I do believe that the NBA kind of goes in waves. Like there are certain trends in the league, like back in the 2000s, dominant big men, even before that, dominant big men. Now it's transitioning to more of like guard heavy. I don't think that we'll ever see like a Shaq and all those guys all in the league at one time again, but I don't know. I'm excited to see these new up and comers, start to come in the league, and who knows? Well, we might have a guy averaging 35, like my boy James Harden did a couple years ago.
yeah.
No, I don't think that's a bad take. I mean, scoring is up and it's been trending up, and obviously scoring takes points per game averages up. And as the total scoring goes up, to me, the number that always sticks out to me is guys like Michael and Kobe, and even not farther back, but guys from that era who were still able to score. I mean, Michael's career average, I think, of 30, and Kobe's like 28 or 27, somewhere in there. Crazy, they're scoring that many less points. It becomes more impressive to me. But yeah, not to bring those guys into it. It's just, it's a solid.
No, yeah.
I don't necessarily like how the league is trending towards, I remember like a year or two, well, probably a couple years ago after Curry won the MVP, people are pulling from the logo and all this stuff. I think that's unnecessary, but what are you going to do? It's Steph Curry. So I don't know. I mean, I like where the NBA is going right now. I think we have a super talented league. I mean, half of these teams, man, they have a lot of potential right now. I mean, there's some teams who I don't really see a future with, but I'm sure they'll get it figured out.
Yeah, I would agree. We can. Do we want to pivot to who he play for now?
I love that idea.
Oh boy, I'm excited for this one.
This is gonna be fun. All right, we'll let the guest go first. We'll see if he can. I'm sure he will get me because I'm terrible at this. I'm basically Chuck.
Oh man, this is nerve-wracking, man. I've probably watched majority of your guys' episodes. I don't know if you guys have said these people. I've got a pretty decent sized list here, but let's start it off, man. Who he played for? Daniel Tice.
Oh my gosh! All right, I have to stay silent because I have him written down. So
really,
I got backup, so it's fine.
Both had him written down, and to be honest,
so Chen's on the spot.
Yeah.
Good grief! All right, so I don't think he's on the Bulls because I think that was the last time I remember playing for a team. That's too easy. Who the Bulls traded with recently? You know what? Just off the wall, because I actually have no idea. I've not seen this dude this year. Yeah, I'm going to say the Magic. And maybe the Trailblazers is second, but that's all I got.
Final answer. Trailblazers, Magic,
I'll go with Trailblazers. I'll lock it in.
So he's actually with your boy Benedict Mathurin out in Indiana, man.
Oh no!
Yeah, I don't know if he's playing very much, but hey, he's out there. He's holding it down in Indiana.
Wow. That's a good one, man. That is a good one. That guy, Pacers. Wow.
He's just one of those guys I saw. I was like, dude, no chance.
No way.
I haven't heard of this guy since the Celtics. Like, I don't even know. But anyway, that was my first one. So you guys go ahead.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'll take the floor. Okay, so this guy, he's been in the league since 2013. So he's going on 10 years next year. Was a relative starter for a good portion of his career, and he started 2 games last year, only played in 23, and this year he's only played in 12 so far. Who he play for? Robert Covington.
Oh, actually,
I think I might.
I might know this. I do know this.
I want to say, oh man. Okay, Timberwolves is the first team that comes to mind, but I don't want to second guess myself. I'd have to say Timberwolves, but man, I feel like I don't know. I just gotta lock it in.
All right, T-Wolves final answer, Christian.
He's on the Clippers.
Yeah, he's on.
I know that team, Steve. He was on the Steve. He was on the reason. Yeah.
He last played for the Timberwolves in 2019.
Oh man, yeah, it's Rocco. I don't pay attention to him.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. That was a real good one. I got some names, man. I'm gonna be honest. I got some names.
You honestly scared me whenever you do
this.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, I'll save the hardest one for last because it's not really as relevant. This one is relevant, and no, I just got Gary Harris. Where is he playing right now?
You know, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about putting him on my list, man. I watched him play. I'll let Caleb take the floor, but I watched one of his games.
You know where he is.
I know where he is. I have it written down.
You guys know where he is.
We're running. We've done this so many times. We're running out of guys to choose from.
That's all good. That is the first one. Magic.
Yeah, he's in Orlando.
Yeah,
everyone's got the Magic. Okay, go.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the first one I said, and like the answer was correct. I've been on a common streak 2 or 3 weeks here. Where like,
here's what's crazy.
Nobody knows who I'm bringing up. So.
I had him written down as a backup because he's been in Orlando for 3 seasons. So I was like, I feel like there's a chance. Like it's been there long.
Yeah.
Someone's be like, oh, the last time I saw him, he's with the Magic. So I'll just guess the Magic. And then, but yeah.
Nah, I was one of you guys straight away. No, okay. Throw it back to Luke. What's next up?
Boy. All right. You know, this is someone who I did not realize played for this team. I'll give you a little hint with my introduction to him, but just go ahead. Who he play for? Cavaliers legend Matthew Dellavedova.
Oh, we know this,
bro.
Ironically,
we did this, and I don't even know if I can remember.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
Well, actually, I'll let Caleb see if he can get it because I do remember because you got me with it. So I wasn't even back it up.
Okay. I know it's a black jersey, so I'm thinking it's either San Antonio or Sacramento. And my gut is thinking Sacramento, so I think I'll lock in Sacramento. But
so your final answer?
I'm like 70-30. So yeah, final answer Sacramento.
Oh yeah, good final answer.
Deli's wasn't on the Kings, man.
Wasn't he in like Australia or something last year?
Man, I didn't even know he was still in the league, to be honest. Jeez.
All right. Man. Wow. It's me now?
Yep.
Okay, so I can't remember, Christian, if you did this player or not, but I'll just go into this guy. He's 37 years old now. He's been a journeyman. I think I'm like 50-50 on we did this, but we can get Luke on it anyways. But who he play for? Taj Gibson.
Oh yeah, I know this one. But
did you do Taj Gibson?
I might. Yeah, I think I brought it up.
You gotta be kidding me, bro. All right, let me think here. Let me think. Taj Gibson, man.
I need to segue real quick.
Baby.
I'll be right back.
I mean that's about the only time I can, think of him. Oh man. I might. Did I see him go to the Wizards? I gotta lock it in. I think I might have seen him go to the Wizards. I forget who they traded
you got that right. There's no way.
Dude, I could have sworn
this year.
I could have sworn I saw either he got picked up or traded for someone, but I remember Bulls is the only Bulls and Wizards, that's it.
Yeah, he hasn't played in Chicago since 2016.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
He was in Chicago forever, and then he went to OKC, and then he went to Minnesota, and then he was in the Knicks from 2019 until last year, which he was just playing with Thibodeau, I guess. And then, yeah, he's on the Wizards now. I don't know why they would sign him, but
yeah, maybe I do remember him on the Timberwolves a little bit too. But man, the Wizards
also with Thibodeau in Minnesota, probably he just follows Tibbs wherever he goes. But all right, we'll go back to you. Christian stepped out, so back to you for one more.
All right. Man, I got 4 guys to choose from here. 2 of them, I mean, they're kind of just like, they're kind of just random players that like you'll definitely know the name, but like I don't want to do that. So this guy, he used to have a bigger role back in the day. He's never really been, that guy. But I didn't know he was on this team. I'm sure you guys do this every week, so maybe you know better than me. But who he play for? Austin Rivers.
Dude, we literally did Austin Rivers, and I don't remember it either. Christian, you're muted, I think.
No, I'm not.
I got a couple more if you want to switch it out. But...
No, I know where Austin Rivers played. Do you know where he played, Caleb? Actually, he started last night.
He started last night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Jeez.
Yeah, league pass, man.
Is it Denver?
Good guess.
I'll give you
last
a
year.
hint. You're high on this team, man. You like this team.
I like a lot of teams, man.
Think of who you put astronomically high and compare to like normal.
Okay, then it's the Cavs or the T-Wolves because you hated my takes of the Cavs and the T-Wolves.
Good idea.
Started in Minnesota last night?
Yep.
Over who?
Towns is down. Towns is down. I think they went a little bit smaller, but yeah.
Did they win?
He's lined up next to. I don't think they did. They might have.
Dang it! I was really hoping they did, so I could slander Karl Anthony Towns again. But, dang, I know we did Austin Rivers, and I still can't remember. So that's just proves.
Hey, that's the beauty of who we play for. We knew a guy last week, and we still don't really know who it is. All
right, you're up, Christian. You got one more.
I gotta say, I got a guy. I got a guy who's a guy. This is so bogus. Who we play for? Justice Winslow.
Okay, well, first thing that comes to mind is Heat, but
it
can't be the Heat. It can't.
It's not. It is not. I'll give you guys this hint because it's so in the dark. Non-Eastern Conference team. So you get 15 options, but to be honest with you, they're all shots in the dark. So have fun.
Oh man, I'm gonna lock in the Spurs just because I know it's gonna be a poor Western Conference team, and it just seems like a guy that Pop would bring in. So I'm locking in the Spurs on a complete shot in the dark.
Geez, my Wi-Fi just went out for a sec. Okay, so Justice
Winslow.
Good. Oh man, you said Spurs?
Yeah, complete shot in the dark.
Honestly, I don't know. I want to say like Pistons, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go Detroit. I have no idea.
Portland. Justice Winslow is currently kicking it with Dame Dollar.
Oh, okay. Portland. I gotta know how
Josh Hart
he's appeared in.
Probably more than you'd want to acknowledge. That's all I'm gonna say. I literally saw him like, who is that? And then when I realized it was Justice Winslow.
He started 7 games this year.
Exactly. Like he's actually relevant.
He's playing.
I don't know about
who knew,
but
who knew?
I don't know about that.
He's averaging 7, 5, and 3. That's not good.
Wow. Yeah.
Jeez. Are those all the players you guys had? Because I kind of want to name off my last 3. I won't test you.
I low key save them. Low key. No.
Or you can do that too.
Yeah,
I won't say the team, but
we're gonna run out. I want to make sure we don't run out.
I would save them.
Yeah, I'll save them for the
because I got a guy I didn't even use either, and I still think you guys are gonna get him. So
all right, yeah,
we can keep on pivoting. Because I know we have another segment to get to. Do we want to just hop right into that?
Are you referring to better or worse, or who he played for?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, because there's 3 of us now, so this time is. I think we're getting close to an hour. I think we got time. If we want to run through a quick better or worse, maybe one player for each of us, and then we could, try out our who he played for segment.
Yeah.
But we'll just kick off better or worse then.
We'll kick off better or worse, and we're going all time today, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'm not going to go first. I'm thinking about this. I don't want to go first. So
that's fine. I'll start. I'll start.
Go ahead.
I got James Harden lined up for both of you guys. We'll try and keep things brief. I understand one guy here has some loyalties to Harden, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll just kind of see, how things go. And hey, we'll just get it kind of right. Hey, rest in peace. But better or worse than Kobe Bryant? James Harden.
Worse.
Okay, yeah,
Stop.
worse.
I want to see if I can get him.
Okay, listen. All right, listen. I like James Harden, but I mean, he's a different player than he was his MVP season. That's all I gotta say. Kobe Bryant's one of the GOATs, so Harden is not in that conversation.
Respect. Better or worse than Dwayne Wade? All time here.
James Harden, he's worse.
I'd go worse. I gotta go worse. Chris, is your camera off?
Yeah, for some reason I think it turned off, and I don't really know why. To be honest with you guys,
you're good, man. Don't worry about it.
What's going on? You hear my voice?
Yeah, we can hear you. So just keep going.
Better or worse in terms of again all-time ranking. We'll throw Ray Allen in there.
Better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of difficult.
And I'm a Harden hater. So
Ray Allen's a one-trick pony, man. I don't care. Harden has.
I wouldn't say that, man. Early in his career, Allen was good at everything.
Okay, yeah, you're
how about Allen Iverson? Let's throw Allen Iverson in the mix. Is he better or worse than James Harden?
I think we're gonna have different answers here, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm seeing the smirk.
You might need to go first here. I might need to hear your argument for why James Harden's better than Allen Iverson.
I would have to pull up the stats and get really technical if I wanted to have somewhat of an actual argument. But personally, I'd have to take Harden. I'd rather take Harden over Iverson, just because, I mean, Iverson was a one-of-a-kind player. He kind of started off like these guards that we, now see today, like Kyrie, for example, takes a lot from Allen Iverson, people like that. But I don't know, man. I like Harden.
I think that's honestly, I'd have to look at the numbers. I'm gonna guess that Harden has like higher career totals and stuff, and you can make that argument. I have to go Iverson. I think that I don't really need to state my case.
That's a close one. I think all the time
it's close.
That's a close.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, I'm not going to reject because this is my guy. But better or worse? Oh man, I love these. Scottie Pippen.
Oh gosh.
Scottie Pippen.
Hey man, at some point, championships got to mean something, right?
Oh,
I mean, compared to what, 15 points a game and some good defense, but no, I'll listen.
Oh, jeez.
This is just
hottie.
It's just two completely like opposite styles of players. Like,
that's what I was trying to get at. What do you guys really value here?
You know me. You know I value winning.
Yeah.
So that's fair. That's fair.
And still, I'm on the fence because I do see the value in offense.
Well, just because of a talent Harden is, but also Scottie's the best second option of all time.
So, yeah, I think he's one of the better perimeter defenders ever. So,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take the bait. I'll go Pip.
Luke,
I got a hot take here. I got a really hot take. And it's not so much as the comparison, but I think that Harden's two best years in Houston. How should I word this? I think this is somewhat, agreeable within the NBA community, but James Harden is the best isolation scorer of all time. That point blank period. You could put guys like Michael Jordan up there, but when you have, Harden in Houston, he's buddies with the GM. The whole offense is Harden or bust. I mean, you can't really get, more.
No, statistically, like ISO per possession.
What he did, he had the whole franchise ran around him. And, what he did, like, obviously no championship, but, the stats, he had good stats. But as for, Scottie Pippen, Harden, oh, man, I hate to say it, but I got to take Scottie, man. He's just he's a two-way player. Harden he's good. I mean, he scores, but I don't know. I'll take Scottie.
Wow. I'm impressed, Luke. I'm impressed. I did not see that.
Yeah, actually, very surprised.
After the Sixers win their chip this year, maybe we'll have a different story. But
I don't foresee that happening. So
I don't either. But yeah.
Yeah, we can do the whole bus rider, bus driver take another day because I'm surprised, honestly, by your.
That's a tough one. Like you said, they're two completely different players and styles. Like I'm just thinking about it from the point, like if I was a GM, who would I have on my team? Prime Harden or Prime Scotty? Assuming I have somewhat, a decent
still want
option.
Prime Scotty, huh?
Scotty was in the MVP talk that year, the first year after Michael retired. I think he finished top 5.
1 year. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Offensively, obviously Harden's better, but I think as a two-way play, Harden doesn't play defense. I mean, let's be honest here. Scotty's one of the best defenders of all time. I mean, that's honestly what it boils down to. So
respect. I got one last comparison. And it's not really cheating because we're doing it all the time. But it's we're pinpointing a bit here. Better MVP season, James Harden and Russell Westbrook.
James Harden.
Okay. That was relatively easy.
Look, the triple double talk is it's truly like I think it's dumb how it gets downplayed now, and you guys can see that based on our debate about 20 minutes ago. But to average 36 points over the course of an entire season.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It's literally 40 some every other night. It was crazy.
I remember the streak of him dropping 40 for however many games in a row. And you got to think about it like this, man: 36 points per game on a season. Who like I bet not even a quarter of the league has a career high that's even his average. I mean that is ridiculous.
That's absurd.
That's all I gotta say. I mean, I don't want to discredit the triple doubles. I think it's impressive, but Thunder didn't do anything. Rockets didn't either, but hey, Harden's my boy.
Yeah, respect.
That's fair. All right, I'll go next. And we're only going around once, so I'm going to take Chris Paul, which is who we prepped for.
Yes.
So better or worse all time for Chris Paul, as we've already talked about him extensively today, but talking about the length of his career now and not just this season. So I'll start it out. And I think I know the answer to this. Better or worse than Chris Paul all time? Steph Curry.
You have a different answer, Luke?
I don't think so. I think Steph Curry is,
we like to start out easy, man. We're starting out easy.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Gotta get the gauge.
We'll jump in though. Better or worse all time? Chris Paul or Steve Nash?
Yeah, I knew this was coming. All time season to season output. Looking at what Chris Paul was able to do in a short time with the Suns so far, the Rockets, even the Thunder being relevant that 1 year when they had nobody. I'm gonna give it to Chris Paul. I could see why, because Nash was in the MVP conversation. I don't think Chris Paul really realistically has ever been. But I'd love to hear Luke's thoughts on this.
Yeah. How many does Steve Nash have? 1 or 2 MVPs?
He has 2.
I think he's got 2. Yeah.
Jeez, how did that one happen? I don't. I think I got to give it to Chris Paul as well. I mean, Chris Paul is just. I mean, when you think of like a floor general, you think of Chris Paul. I mean, same with Steve Nash, but I don't know. I think those MVP seasons kind of, overshine Steve Nash. I don't. Especially 2. I mean, come on.
It was a highlight of his career.
Yeah, I mean, he was very good, but I don't know. There were some other guys who should have won MVP, which, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. But yeah, I'd probably have to give it to Chris Paul.
All right. I got to take some names off now because I know the answers too. So we'll delete Russell Westbrook from the list. Better or worse all time? We'll go here. We'll go Chris Paul or Tony Parker. Championships versus none.
Yeah. I guess my really only answer to this is if you swap the two. I know it's such a subjective thing, but I actually would argue the Spurs win more. I love Tony Parker. I even think at times he gets underrated, but honestly think that somehow the Spurs would actually get more championships with Chris Paul.
Yeah,
Chris Paul started with the
think...
Hornets, and the Hornets and the Clippers. Like, he didn't get Pop and Tim Duncan and Ginobili. Like, that's my opinion.
He also didn't get any rings.
I know it's a big thing for you. I know.
Huh?
It's
I probably would have taken.
The fact he has none.
I know I'm not supposed to say this. I probably would have taken Chris Paul too, but interesting debate nonetheless. How about Chris Paul or Isaiah Thomas?
Which one?
The good one. Come on,
Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke.
Okay.
You know, the one that gets thrown up there with the all-time point guards, not the one that got run out of the league because he was a midget.
I mean, he had a 30-point per game season, but
hey, I'm the biggest Isaiah Thomas 2.0 fan.
No, love the guy. I'm actually pretty torn here, to be honest with you. I'm kind of leaning one way. Do you have any thoughts initially, Luke? Like somebody that pops out? Am I missing something here?
I don't know. This is a tough one. I mean, I feel like these guys are. It was clearly, two different styles of game from back then and now, but. Oh man, I don't know. I feel like the bigger part of me wants to say Isaiah Thomas, just because. But I mean, the defense is a lot more there than it is with Chris Paul. Shooting, I mean, I think that could kind of go either way. Chris Paul's probably got the edge. I mean, passing, I'd probably give it to Chris Paul as well. But I don't know, man. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, he was a different breed back in the day on that Pistons team. So. I don't know. I mean, that might be a hot take, but yeah, I'll take Isaiah Thomas.
I like it.
Man. It's a good take in the sense that yes, Chris Paul, I think is actually probably far and away a better offensive player. Era helps that too. Like it's more of a offensive focused era. Isaiah Thomas didn't have to when he got drafted in like 79, but defensively, I think Isaiah Thomas is maybe an inch or two taller, but he's so much better as a defender. He's not just a traffic cone out there. So it's tough. I will go with Chris Paul for now.
Really?
Yeah, I in this honestly might be part of my own just not knowledge of Isaiah Thomas. I would agree that I think actually he's underrated. He gets a lot of unnecessary flack. I don't know how many rings he's got.
Yeah, two.
That's what I mean. Like he's got two compared to Chris Paul's none. And I bring up the bus rider argument. I understand Isaiah Thomas had a lot of help around him, but he was definitely the bus driver of that team. Maybe not all the way defensively.
Yeah,
he was very solid defensively. So I think it's a lot closer. I know you say it's a hot take taking Isaiah Thomas. I think it's actually pretty legit. Like I would have to concur that.
I think it
on a certain day, I could low-key actually go with Isaiah Thomas. Like I think it for some people they just like to crap on him because of the whole Pistons, MJ Last Dance documentary. But ultimately, he was a good basketball player.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take.
Can't take that away from him.
Luke. Yeah, I think honestly my two things are one, 2 championships, and 2, I mean, Chris Paul is a liability on defense on every team he's played for.
Yeah, it's so hard to ignore.
Isaiah Thomas was probably guarding Jordan sometimes out there. I mean, it was 2 different eras, but yeah, Isaiah Thomas, man.
All right, so we talk about all-time facilitators. We got a couple more here. All-time facilitators, guys like Chris Paul, Steve Nash come to mind, but the guy that often gets forgotten about, John Stockton, the all-time leading assist leader. So better or worse than Chris Paul, John Stockton?
I'll let you lead this one off, Christian. I don't know. I mean,
oh man, I got you guys thinking today.
Because realistically, when Chris Paul was getting draft comps, all that, who was he compared to? John Stockton. So basically, did he surpass John Stockton at this point, or did he not? And John Stockton does not have any rings, so that bodes well in Chris Paul's favor. But both of these dudes have been playing since the dinosaurs, and Stockton still has better stats all time. And you can even make the argument. I know that he had Karl Malone, the mailman, yada, yada, yada. The rest of that team, though, I mean, it was like Jeff Hornacek was like their number 3 option. I mean, Byron Russell. Like the rest of the team wasn't that complete, wasn't as easy to get assists, I feel like, as people make it out to be, especially in that era. It wasn't just pass and the guy puts up a shot. I mean, assists, you had to create a little bit more. So I'm actually gonna go with John Stockton here. I actually think if roles were reversed and he was in this era, he actually might be a little bit more productive.
Interesting.
But that's just my take. Luke, do you have any? This is very tough. It's close for me.
Yeah, this is tough, but I gotta give it to Stockton as well. I mean, all-time assist leader. Granted, he did have the mailman to throw it down and get a bucket, basically whenever he wanted, but I don't know. I mean, I guess I could say that Chris Paul, he's been in a lot of different situations. Obviously, John Stockton was only on the Jazz, but I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that Chris Paul ever had someone like a Karl Malone to work with, at least a big man. I mean, Lob City, you could say maybe you got two mid guys.
No, Blake Griffin is not Karl Malone.
Yeah, exactly. So
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, both of their situations, I'd still have to give it to Stockton for sure.
All right. We got one more here. I got a couple names, but for time's sake, we'll go one more. So, two guys with 0 championships. But I'm interested to see how we talk about what you value. Better or worse, Chris Paul or Gary Payton?
That's tough.
Arguably the best perimeter defender of all time. Definitely the best defending point guard of all time. I would put up there. Could maybe throw Magic in that conversation, but I'd probably take Gary Payton. So, wow.
I am gonna even just like selecting Gary Payton. It's such an opposite of both worlds. Like Gary Payton is a world-class defender, somewhat mid-offensive game, even if that you might be generous. But then you look at the other side, Chris Paul is elite for mid-range, an amazing facilitator, can do all that, but can't do anything on defense. And oh man, and even when you do the flip around thing, Gary Payton, does he do anything with the Clippers that elevates them in championship? I don't think so. I think with the Suns, it's maybe close. They're more of the same in terms of value, what they provide. I'm gonna give it to Chris Paul. I think eventually his numbers will kind of help him out. And I really think Gary Payton, we watched Last Dance. It wasn't his fault that George Karl wouldn't mark him on Jordan.
That didn't matter. Come on now.
I think it matters. I think if that goes to 7 and it's close, you can make more of an argument.
That's a debate for another day.
His defense was so, impactful. I'm gonna go Chris Paul. I see the other side of this.
All right.
I do.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree, Chris Paul. I just feel I don't know. I mean, they called him the glove for a reason. I mean, he was ridiculous on defense. But when I think of Gary Payton, that's all I think about. I don't think about a guy who's been, I guess maybe he's average on offense, even a facilitator. I'm sure he was average, but Chris Paul, he's a step above. I mean, I would even go as far as to say prime Chris Paul was, double the scorer that Payton was. I mean, and passing wise, that Chris Paul is I would say significantly better as well. But, defense, you either take, the best or the worst, I think I'd still have to give it to Chris Paul though.
Fair takes. But there's a couple other names on here, but for time's sake, I'll pass the torch. I'll pass the torch to Luke for better or worse all time.
All right. So the first guy who I wanted to do, we were talking about James Harden. And
if you don't have a guy, we kind of went off.
Oh no, I got it. I have someone. It'll be quick, but I was just seeing if Christian was all right.
We're good. Dude, I think I'm sorry. I can't tell if there's a plane going over my house or if there's just a shootout, and it actually kind of sounds like a shootout because it keeps pausing and now it's stopped. Yeah, it was totally a shootout.
All right, so. Don't move
and
to
a lot
Milwaukee,
of sirens.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Lesson learned. This is why I'm doing the podcast. Get out of here. No. I'm not a nice side, but in terms of in any city, if you're on a good side in Chicago, you hear the gunshots from a distance. I know I'm not in any danger, but that was loud, man. I heard it through the headset.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
Back on topic. Who cares about crummy McKay?
Anyway, so I was gonna throw out Dwayne Wade because I think he's a very interesting player, but you already put up James Harden and a lot of the guys who I would have compared Wade to, you compared with Harden. So I'm gonna switch it up. And for this, just for this guy, I'm going off whatever name I say. I'm talking about, I guess, all time, but I'm mostly referring to them in their prime. So with that being said, better or worse, Derrick Rose.
Oh God! I'm gonna get faded so hard.
I got some guys on here. So let's just start off. I think this one is, I think I'll know the answer, but we'll start off with prime John Wall.
D Rose.
Yeah.
This whole thing is peak D Rose, right?
I would say we're clarifying that. Like he's not. Yep. We're basically going pre-injury. Trajectory.
D Rose.
Okay. Yeah.
D Rose. Okay. Better or worse than Ja Morant?
Go ahead, Christian.
I think in 5 years, this
I almost
topic
jumped and took the bait, man. I just due to the fact that Ja Morant is a little bit skinnier, but to be honest with you, Derrick Rose entered. He was still pretty skinny. Ja Morant has a 3-ball kind of like already. I know it's not like consistent, but it's definitely way more than D Rose had. And the Grizzlies are like already a playoff team when they haven't even the days of like grit and grind with Mike Conley and Tony Allen, or whatever. They were never this. So I think D Rose at his pinnacle. He might have been a little bit more than Ja Morant, but this is kind of like what I think a lot of us foresaw. So I'm not going to put him over Ja Morant.
Interesting take.
So you've got Ja Morant over D Rose.
Yes.
I misunderstood that. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. My rebuttal to that, which I was prepared for because I knew you were going to say this. Ja Morant has never been the best player in the league, and D Rose has. So
bull crap. You think D Rose was the best player in the league?
He was the most valuable player
on the Heat.
He was the most valuable.
Yeah, and Steve Nash was the best player in the league in 2006.
He was the most valuable player. By definition.
All right, I'll let the viewers take that apart. I'm not even going to entertain.
No, regardless, D Rose did have playoff success. He never got to the finals, obviously, but he took the Bulls multiple times to Eastern Conference Finals to lose to the Super Team Heat, and that's something that Ja has yet to do. You could talk to me in 365 days, and it could be
lost to the Warriors.
So
Warriors won the ship.
Okay. Did he do it
twice? He took the Bulls against the Heat once or twice.
Games. Did he win 60
once
games?
Or twice? He won like 58 with the Grizzlies, and he didn't have Jimmy Butler and Wall Deng and Joakim Noah.
D Rose's best option was
hurt Jaren
Jackson before his knee injury. He did not.
All I gotta say is I think Ja Morant in these next couple of years, he reminds me of what Derrick Rose did on his come up. I mean, he's kind of, I wouldn't say a very similar situation, but he's that main point guard on a team of, decent components. And, D Rose never got it done, but I think, I'm excited to see what Ja Morant does. But anyway, we'll keep it moving.
Yeah.
D Rose, better or worse than Baron Davis?
Oh no, D-Rose. No. Sorry. I love Baron Davis too. I love him. And if we're like gonna look career wise, you can make an argument for BD, but like if we're talking prime, no, I'm not Derrick Rose.
Oh yeah. Okay. This one might be a little interesting. Better or worse than Allen Iverson?
AI.
Oh yeah,
AI
would love to take the baits of.
Look, D Rose isn't going for 50 on the 01 Lakers, who are arguably the best team of all time in the finals.
That's
yeah.
Facts.
So yeah.
I had to see where you guys stood there. I mean, Allen Iverson is what he's done. I mean, he's ranked, at least top 30 all time players.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep it moving here. Better or worse than Penny Hardaway?
Oh, that's such a good one.
Oh no! So we're taking both of them in their prime.
Such a good one. You know what, man? I'll go first. I think I got to go Penny, man. I think Penny had a higher ceiling. That's the bottom line.
Okay, higher ceiling, but in terms of like what they did with their best years, I'm actually gonna go with Derrick Rose because I think you put him with Shaq, young Shaq, that Magic team would be cracked. Like
they were cracked with Penny.
But they didn't go anywhere.
They went to the finals. They went to the finals. And they got outed by the 72-10 Bulls.
I'm telling you, well, conference finals then. And I'm telling you that Derrick Rose and Shaq, like that
here's what a
couple championships in my eyes.
The Magic went to the finals. The Magic beat Michael Jordan the year he came back from baseball. They went to the finals. Then the very next year, yes, Rose never made it to the finals. Then, and I'm not disagreeing with you, put Rose on that team. They're correct. But then they went to the conference finals, I believe, again the next year, and then got swept by Jordan. I don't think it was swept, but they got beat by the 72-10 Bulls, who were the best team of all time. So
they lost.
I think you can go 50-50, but I'm going Penny Hardaway.
As a concept,
we saw more of Penny Hardaway, so I could be biased in that sense because it took a little bit longer for his knee issues to kick in than it did for Rose.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
I've got two more guys on this list. These guys are still in the league, so this should be pretty interesting. I guess you could say these guys are maybe past their primes. Maybe one of these guys is still in their prime, but better or worse than Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, and I had him for the Chris Paul, and I didn't say him. Oh man,
I'm not gonna put him over Kyrie. I, as much as I love to, especially the recency bias.
I will.
2016, man. Bro was dropping 40 on the 73-9 Warriors.
Here's my issue with Kyrie. Here's my issue with Kyrie, man. We saw what he was. We saw what he was before LeBron showed up. Very talented scorer. He was still very young, so I cut him a little slack. But D Rose was really young when he won MVP, so I don't know if I can cut him that slack. Rose took a team and willed the team to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that team was nowhere even close to the playoffs before LeBron showed up. And ever since he's left LeBron, he's been an absolute debacle everywhere he's went. So while Penny's length helped him, I think that Kyrie's length is hurting him in my mind. So I'll go D Rose, but I see the take. I really do. It's close.
I think you're really taking consideration off the court stuff. I think we're just looking at on the court, especially statistically, what Kyrie's done as a scorer.
No, that's why I referenced that he wasn't able to
take that away from him. I don't.
But D Rose averaged 26. His MVP season.
Yeah, and I understand we're talking like the prime was extended, but Kyrie kind of can do the same.
I mean, obviously, if we're talking like
it's so weird
tough. Because if we're talking about like all-time point guards, I'm obviously going to take Kyrie, but we put the stipulation.
It's hypothetical,
just prime. Because I feel like if I say D Rose all prime, Buddy's holding it down in New York right now. He's not doing himself any good.
But you know what? Shout out D Rose for reshifting.
Oh yeah. I'm glad he's still even in the league at this point.
Yeah.
Geez.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, a lot of 50-50s here. You guys are kind of going against.
It's a tough debate, man. I
had to bring up D Rose, man. We all got that bias. So all right, this is my last guy. Last guy I got for you guys. He's injured right now, but better or worse, Damian Lillard.
Yeah, you talk about carrying a team for no reason. Yeah. That's two of the best to ever do it.
I'm gonna have to. I think Dame is.
I think it's Dame.
Away. I low key, yeah. There was a time people were entertaining he was better than Curry.
That was a stupid time.
I'm not saying it's accurate, but the fact is in conversation.
Curry's not on this list.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're all in consensus that Curry is like top 2 or 3 point guards all time now.
So.
He's top 3 and he ain't 3. So that's all I gotta say. But as far as Damian Lillard, I think he just has his game is the aspects of his game go a lot further than D Rose. He doesn't just need to rely on his athleticism to carry him. This guy's pulling from the logo. Along with Curry.
Agreed.
But,
yeah. I think I agree. All right. So that wraps up better or worse. We're sitting right about 90 minutes right now. So I think I really want to debut our new segment, Who He Played For. So how about we just do one each? I know we plan on doing a couple more, but we'll do one each. And I think this will be a little bit faster because there's no debate.
Yeah, we'll just roll through the teams real quick, and we can
play
a bit better next time.
The way it works, and I can go first, but we won't name the player, but we'll name the team that they were drafted by, and then the other teams they played for in sequence of real life. And then we got to guess who it was. So given that we're only doing one, I'm just going to go with my hardest guy. So
word.
And then if you guys, I do have some background information if you are stumped to help maybe shed some light and help you figure this out. So this guy was drafted by Washington. Okay. He then played in Denver. Okay. After Denver, he went to Philadelphia. And then he went to Dallas.
Oh, jeez.
And then he went to Golden State. Then he went to the Lakers. Then he was with the Cavs. Then back to Denver. He was in Phoenix. And then he was in Dallas. And he is currently in Dallas.
Luke, you're going to hate me because I know this.
No way, man.
I know exactly who this is. I know exactly who this
is.
With no hesitation, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Just to preface, this guy, we're only doing people who are still in the league, correct?
He's
currently
playing for the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep.
Oh, man. I don't know. You said he got drafted by the Wizards?
The Wizards
or something?
Yes, the Wizards.
Yeah, that tracks.
Been all around the world. I don't know. Garrett Temple. I don't know.
No, I'll give you some more hints. He was a member of the Golden State Warriors championships in 17 and 18.
Oh man. Okay. Jeez, I don't. The Mavericks, man. Who's on the Mavericks?
I'll end it whenever you want me to.
Yeah, I love how he just knows it.
I'm so mad at him, dude. You better have had him written down or something. That's ridiculous.
I don't, and that's the worst part. I had an idea, and I was like, "Is this really gonna follow?" And then you said the last couple teams. I'm like, "Yeah, I know this is."
He also won a championship in the bubble with the Lakers.
Oh, geez. Jeez, is he a guard?
No.
Who am I thinking of? Not a guard. Man, I have no idea. Christian, you gotta help me out on this one, man. I have no idea.
JaVale McGee!
Oh my god.
I tried to track it. I was like Wizards, Nuggets, and I was
that makes
the
sense.
Warriors got me. Yeah, you really follow. Wow. Okay. No,
I tried to find the biggest journeyman I possibly could.
Great one. If I didn't know JaVale McGee so well, I would have got it. No,
But you got to pick somebody that people actually know too. I can't just random.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lin, and then list the Shanghai Sharks. So,
Dwight Howard.
All right,
no, but
Christian, you're up. Let's.
Oh boy, I can't wait for this one.
Geez.
So
I'm so worried. Why did I let you go first?
Dude,
oh man,
he got drafted, and again, you're gonna be like, initially, who is this? It might start to cancel out as you get. He was drafted in 06-07 by the Raptors. He took I don't want to say 5-year hiatus because he still played pro ball. Then he was with the Suns for 4 complete seasons. Midway through his 5th season there, he got traded back to the Raptors. During his free agency, he signed with the Rockets, which is the biggest hint. He was with the Rockets from 2017-18 through 2020-21 when he got traded to the Bucks for their championship run. Then he signed with the Heat, and now he's currently with the Sixers.
I got it.
Yeah, I knew Luke would get it. I knew he'd get it once I said the Rockets. I knew it.
The amount of games that me and Shen have played in 2K versus these two teams. I will never forget my main man. That's all I gotta say. Oh man.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
So obviously the biggest hint is he was in the Rock. He was on those.
To me, teams. I don't know if that's a good hint.
That's the best hint you can get. It really is. Fundamental Rockets, typical Harden player.
I'm trying to think of that guy's name. Oh man, where is he now?
Sixers.
Okay, so it's not him.
He's with the Heat last year.
Can I give him a little hint?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, so he's on the Sixers, and I mean, at least offensively, he is doing absolutely absolutely nothing, and he plays a lot of minutes.
Did it with the Bucks too.
He plays a lot of minutes.
He's a complete zero on offense, and it's not Andre Roberson.
Andre Roberson. Oh my gosh! All right, you know what, Luke? Just bail me out here. I don't
Okay, so the whole getting drafted by the Raptors, and I didn't even know about that.
I didn't know that either. I didn't either.
Yeah. This guy, has saved me so many times at the clutch late 3 against the Bucks in 2K. PJ Money Tucker.
That's what I could not think of his name, dude. That's exactly who I was thinking of. I kept thinking of Caron Butler.
Yeah, after he said Bucks championship, the Bucks championship shirt, I was like, okay, I knew who it was, but yeah, dang, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Journeyman.
Yeah.
Did you have one, Luke? Did you have one lined up?
Yeah, I got one. This is probably one of the most random. He's a known name, but he's one of the most random names you could think of. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start it off.
This is bad.
So this man was drafted by the Jazz. He played there for, I would say, more than half of his career. He was then traded to the Cavs, and I guess I should probably say years here. So drafted in 2011, he played in Utah 2011 through 2018. He was on the Cleveland Cavaliers after that, 2018 through 2019. Was then traded to the Kings mid-season. After that, next season, he was traded to the Warriors 2019-2020 season. And during that season, he was traded again to the Sixers. After that stint, 2020 through 2022, he played on the Knicks. And he is currently on the Pistons.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I think I kind of did a horrible job saying the years, but hey, go for it.
I have no
I would say that the biggest hint is he spent 7 years of his career by the team he was drafted by, the Jazz. That's kind of how I know him, at least.
Yeah,
I had a name, but I don't know.
You'll know as soon as I tell you. You'll know exactly.
It can't be
say that.
Hayward because you didn't say Charlotte. That's the only Jazz player I ever think
I got
of.
an idea, and I'm gonna keep it. Caleb, do you have any?
I can repeat the year or the teams if you want, but
the teams. I got an idea of the teams. One of them tripping up because I don't think he played there. But
he was drafted by the Jazz, and then he was on that 2018 Cavs team.
Which I just kind of realized that now. Yeah. Jeez.
And then he was with the Knicks. What years?
He was with the Knicks 2020 through 2022, which I do remember him on that team as well.
It's not Shumpert or anybody like that from that Cavs team. Dude, I don't know, man. Is this a big man?
No, not a big man.
No,
I think Christian might have it.
I think I do. I think I do.
Right, go ahead.
I don't remember him playing for the Cavs. I think it's Alec Burks.
You are correct, Alec Burks.
Oh my gosh. It's an encyclopedia.
Man, all I did was I looked through every roster. I said, man, who's the most random NBA player in the league? Alec Burks.
That is so random, dude. The Knicks thing helped me because I feel like I've low-key watched more Knicks than I should have. And I was like, the only guy that's like a journeyman, Julius Randle didn't fit the bill. And I'm like, Alec Burks? I didn't remember him playing for the Cavs, but wow.
I didn't remember him playing for a lot of these teams.
That's insane.
Well, that only took us like 5 minutes. So if we each have one more, I wouldn't mind going around again.
Okay.
I'll be for it. I don't have another guy.
That's fine.
I'm here for this.
That's fine. All right, I got one more. We'll keep it short. So this guy, McGee was my hardest one, so you guys might get this. I went kind of easy, so you might get this. But this guy was drafted by the Lakers in 2015. He then spent time in Brooklyn. He then spent a very short time in Golden State and is now playing in Minnesota.
Yeah, you can say it, Luke. I know who this is.
That's D'Lo, baby.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell.
You're going to have to go harder next week, but
Yeah,
I didn't know. See, like we hadn't done this. Like I didn't know. Like, oh, if I pick a big name player, is it going to be super easy?
Yeah, no, I kind of try to stray away from that because I mean Christian is an encyclopedia. That's the main reason. That's why I picked Alec Burks, and he still got it.
I should have known better, man.
Yeah.
So I would say like try and keep the draft dates like before like 2012. Like we gotta. I heard Lakers 2015. I had like everybody like in mind, like Zubac and Larry Nance. Like yeah. No.
I should. I'm not giving a year next time.
True, that'll help me. That will help.
Let's see here.
So
I got one. Well, I got two guys, but one of them is a very likable guy. We were talking about him earlier today, but technically he's not on a team right now. And then this other guy is just about the definition of a journeyman. So
okay, we should go with that, and then we could save. For next week.
I'll do the guy. This should be somewhat easy, but anyway. So, oh man. Okay, so this guy was drafted in 2007 by the Seattle Supersonics.
Oh god.
He played there until 2011. After that, he was traded to the Celtics. He played there from 2011 to 2015.
I know this.
Christian already got it. I knew it.
It's not fair, man.
After that, he went to the Grizzlies for a year. He got traded midseason to the Clippers. Spent a year with the
Nuggets
Magic.
at some point.
Yeah, he's actually on the Nuggets now. So Clippers, spent a year with the Magic. He was on the 2017-2018 Cavs. Played a year with the Wizards after that, then the Jazz, then the Rockets, then the Nets, and now he's on the Nuggets.
Yeah, I know this is. I know exactly who this is. Great journeyman, though. These are great names.
What years was he with the Clippers?
Just 2016, and I don't even know if that.
I don't know if that'll help you. I don't know if that'll help.
I thought I swapped the Celtics for the Clippers. I thought it was DeAndre Jordan, but it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I would say the biggest hints I could give is, this guy. I mean, he drafted by the Sonics. I would say his time in Boston after he got traded. That I feel like I remember him from there. I guess I just remember him.
And his last name is very common. Very
okay. So his name's Johnson.
I don't know if that's a good hint. I don't know if that's.
I think it's a good hint. There was a year when there was like three other dudes that shared his last name, and they were like in the finals or like conference finals. I believe it was when he was with the Celtics.
Yeah, I go ahead, Christian. I don't have any names.
Oh, it's Jeff Green.
Jeff Green, yep.
No
definition
shot.
Of a journeyman.
No shot. This is I am not cut out for this game. Oh my god. So I'm gonna have to study. This is bad.
Well, the Jeff Green thing, he's like on a new team every year as of late. So that's where it gets tricky. If you didn't know where he started, there was no way you're gonna figure out where he's been going.
Oh, you said the Sonics, and I was like, oh, it's probably like. And then I was like, oh, it's got to be like Katie, Russ, or Harden.
That left me with like four names. That was like Russ, Katie, Rashard.
Jeff Green, he's tough, man. I mean, that's just Chen, human encyclopedia at its finest,
man. But all right, we're at about, we've heard good reviews on the longer episodes. So for those of you who don't like it, we apologize. But we'll try and keep it shorter next week for you guys. But Luke, thanks for coming on, man. This was a blast. We'll definitely have to do it again.
Pleasure.
Regular thing, but any closing thoughts before we wrap it up? Either of you guys?
Thanks for having me. I had a fun time here. As the season goes on, maybe I'll make a return. We can have some more heated debates.
For sure.
Russell Westbrook, don't add him, but add him. And yeah, man, that's all I got. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure, man. As always, guys, make sure to check us out on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, the whole shebang, at the BB-Scho, and send in suggestions, send in any good ideas you guys might have for new segments, and let us know what you think of who he played for, because we've kind of close title, but we'll see going forward if it'll stick. But as always, thanks for listening, guys, and have a good one. We'll catch you guys on Thursday for a Week 13 NFL preview. So
take it easy.